This is the Orioles Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good afternoon, everyone, here on this Sunday. It is August 10th, and this is the Baltimore Orioles Postcast. As always, I'm your postgame show host here on Locked On. My name is Luke. Been following the Orioles all season long and giving you instant analysis and reaction. Seeing some frustration right now in the chat. If you're new here, if you're tuning in for the first time, we stream these shows live to YouTube. They're available on demand after the fact, wherever you get your podcasts for free. And tonight, we discuss the series finale, rubber game loss at the hands of the Athletics. Final score 3-2. The O's are now 16-16 in one-run games. They fall to 12 games under 500, and for the first time in a while, they got a losing record at home. They're one game under 500 now at Camden Yards. Hoping for the first walk-off in 325 days, the O's fall behind at the very last minute with Keegan Akin blowing a save in the ninth, taking away what was surely to be a heartfelt victory in front of the fans. Hall of Fame weekend, Kobe Mayo with a clutch hit, and we're going to break down all of that. However, one point that I don't want to undersell here at all is the quality start by Cade Povich. 6 innings of one-run ball, nary an issue with the 25-year-old left-hander. This was something that was welcomed and deserved. Cade Povich deserved a lot better and should have earned a win today. I know that he left with the tie. However, his offense didn't do a whole lot to support him. Going to be really happy if Cade can replicate this outing.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Been a while. Cade Povich had some hip inflammation and was on the injury list for most of this summer. And he returns in style to Camden Yards. His first quality start at home since September 3rd of last year. You remember those 7 1/3 scoreless innings against the bumbling Chicago White Sox at the time. So his first quality start in almost a year at home, and first quality start in general since that 2-1 win in Navy Yard against the Washington Nationals on April 24th. Stronger command than outings prior. 14 whiffs today, 6 of those coming on the sinking fastball for Cade Povich. Started out really well. 2 first outs of the game, pop outs on 4 pitches combined. Then walks Nick Kurtz on 4 pitches, a free pass, which could have derailed him in outings prior and could have derailed a lot of the O's rotation this season. And then gets Colby Thomas, the 24-year-old rookie, on a first-pitch fastball to fly out to Ryan Mountcastle at first base. So a 9-pitch first inning with really good fastball command. Got Shea Langoliers to chase a high fastball in the top of the third at 93 miles an hour, and then busts a 2-seamer in on the hands of Kurtz to fly out to Jeremiah Jackson and right to end that frame. Got Colby Thomas again to strike out in the 4th. Walks Darrell Hernandez, but then gets a really good strikeout, gets Blade to swing and miss, and then Alex Jackson nabbing the runner Hernandez, Gunnar Henderson applying the tag well in front of the second base bag for a strike him out, throw him out to get out of that inning. Struck out Gio Urshela in the top of the 5th on a nice slider with some good movement, and eventually gets Langoliers to ground out to end the inning, a chopping ground ball to Jordan Westbrook at third base on the curve. Povich is given a 1-0 lead. It only lasts about 3 batters into the 6th inning. However, it's the heart of the Athletics order, so maybe cut him some slack. Brent Rooker gets a curveball he likes, hanging, hits it down the left field line. First leadoff man on for the Athletics, and he's in scoring position. Kurtz grounds out, moves him over to third base, and then infield's drawn in for the Orioles. Colby Thomas been struggling with the breaking ball. Povich tries to blow a fastball right by him, and it's a line drive past Gunnar Henderson into left center field for a single to tie the game at 1-1. But that was pretty much all it was for Cade Povich. The final line on him through 6 innings, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 4 hits. ERA down to 4.95. None of those walks come back to hurt Povich. And as we look at the final box scores, the game book goes final. 94 pitches over 6 frames for Cade Povich. Welcome performance. Unfortunately, while there was good setup from Dietrich Enns, the left-hander, and Yennier Cano, who pitched more than an inning today, Keegan Akin comes on as the de facto closer and cannot get the job done, and he is the subject of tonight's Turning Point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the Turning Point.
Such a low-scoring affair, and it kind of felt like there was a walk-off in the works. However, Akin is gifted a 2-1 lead going into the top of the 9th inning. He promptly walks Hernandez, strikes out J.J. Bleday on a foul tip, on a changeup, 8-pitch at-bat, really well worked, and so inning is starting to gain some momentum in the left-hander's favor. Gio Urshela then up at the plate next, gets a 2-1 slider inside, belts it on a sharp ground ball through the left side hole. You got runners at first and second with one out. Lawrence Butler pinch runs for Urshela, the trail runner, and leave it to Willie McIver, 28-year-old rookie backup catcher Willie McIver, coming into this at-bat with a .214 average, as many baseball credentials as the real MacGyver, or the MacGruber, if you will. First pitch, hanging changeup from the lefty, Akin. Belted into the left field corner, off the wall for Dylan Carlson. You imagine one run is going to score on this play. You have a tie game. Carlson has a very fast exchange, almost like Ramon Laureano back in his heyday here with the Orioles. Quick relay to Gunnar Henderson, the cutoff man at short. Henderson, his throw to Alex Jackson at the plate is offline. They would have had Butler by 5 to 10 steps if that throw was online. Unfortunately, Jackson has to come out of his position to foul ground, cannot catch the ball, can't corral it, and Butler scores to give the Athletics a 3-2 lead, and that is the score that they win by. The Orioles are mincemeat for Elvis Alvarado in the bottom of the 9th inning, and that's your score. However, as some of you have pointed out in the chat, some apathetic, some emotionally charged, this game is likely on the offense, and we're going to talk about that coming up. 8 walks, and none of them come around to score for the Orioles. They get a starting pitcher in Luis Morales, who is way in over his skis, and they can't capitalize. That's kind of been the story of the year. We'll break that down just after this break. This is the Baltimore Orioles postcast. Please stick with us. I'm hearing things a lot clearer on the stream for the first time in a while. This show is brought to you by Gameday Hue. Gameday Hue makes clean, no-logo gear with team-inspired colorways for every pro and college fan base. We love Gameday Hue. In fact, they have sent us product that we've shown on this show many times. Allow me to show. We got the modern fit here, black and orange. Orange on the inside of the bill as well, kind of a curved bill. It looks really nice. Traditional fit, a little bit more clean cut, got a longer bill. This is a nice black and white color scheme that I came up with for the non-viewing audience here. Really nice hats. They got a little bit of a snapback feel, but some air holes in the back. And it's not just hats. Because it's summer and we're enjoying the last days of East Coast summer, we have ourselves a golf club as well with premium leather. Orange here on the bottom, white on the top as a tribute to those Baltimore Orioles. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Right now, you can get 15% off with code MLB15 at GamedayHue.com. That's GamedayHue.com. The code even stacks on bundle deals. So now's the time to load up. Let your colors talk, because colors speak louder than words. That's GamedayHue.com, code MLB15. Show is also brought to you by FanDuel. August 26th officially marks FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, like a lot of you are, this is your moment. Crown the Baltimore Ravens as the champion in August. I dare you. I double dare you. I would even put in for a Ravens Commanders Super Bowl. Wouldn't that be fun? A little DMV Beltway Bowl. And I'm just kidding. This place would go nuts. I'm partial to both those franchises. Very good people. Shout out to my guy, Bram Weinstein. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because futures is one day and one day only. Futures is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. When I hear the word futures as a single noun, I think to the album by Jimmy Eat World from 2004. They're on tour right now, and all they do is play from Futures, Bleed American, and like a couple of their late 2000 stuff. I'm a big Jimmy Eat World enthusiast, but that's a story for another time. 8 walks today for the Baltimore Orioles. None of them come around to score. Credit where credit is due for Kobe Mayo getting what would have been the game-winning hit in an opportunistic pinch hit situation. And all would have been forgiven. That was one hit with runners in scoring position today. The O's go 1 for 9. And in a low-scoring affair like this, you eke away with a 2-1 win. All is forgiven. You got a Jordan Westburg home run as well to add to the tally. But they left a lot on the table. You're facing a right-hander in Luis Morales, 22 years old, his first major league start and only his second game in the show. And this opportunity was wasted like none other. Very rare for Jackson Holliday to take 3 walks in a game, particularly out of the leadoff spot in his first plate appearance of the game. But even he was keyed in on the first 4 pitches, nowhere to be located. Morales is chucking that ball. Great action on the fastball and a lively arm. He has no idea where this thing's going. And Holliday takes 4 pitches and puts his head down and nope, takes his base. Jordan Westburg then gets a 2-0 count. Morales has fallen behind, missing wickedly with breaking stuff and fastball command. Mound visit by the aforementioned Willie McIver, world's greatest baseball player. And Westy ahead in the count 2-0. This is an unwritten rule of baseball. But if someone's thrown 6 straight balls nowhere near the zone and not getting the call on the fringes, you keep the bat on your shoulder until you know it's go time. This is not a green light situation, the second batter of the game. Again, the role of an offense is to pass the baton. You yourself do not need to be the hero 2 batters into this game. You let this thing play out. And if you can get Morales over 20 pitches here in the first inning, who cares if you walked or singled or hit a home run? Let some runs march across naturally. Don't force it. Westy pops up the next pitch. McIver catches it in foul territory for an out. Then leave it to Gunnar Henderson. Grounds out into a fielder's choice. He ends up stealing a base. Adley Rutschman gets this train back rolling, walking on 4 pitches. Gunnar actually almost hung out to dry on a nice pickoff move by Morales, but the ball is dropped by Urshela at third base, so Henderson goes back to second base safely. Ryan Mountcastle then walks with a good eye at the plate. At this point, Morales has thrown 20 pitches, 15 of which are balls, 5 strikes. Jeremiah Jackson strikes out with high heat, 98 miles an hour. Located well, but 3 walks in the first inning and nothing to show for it. 4 walks the first time through the order if you count Alex Jackson in the second inning. The O's also had a great chance in the bottom of the 4th. Again, a scoreless game. Jeremiah Jackson hits a triple off the left field wall. Hanging slider coming in. And it's the first hit of the game for the Orioles. They couldn't get anything going against Morales or the cavalry that came in after him. Tyler Ferguson, the left-hander. Not a whole lot going for, the right-hander. Not a whole lot going against him. But Jackson, with good speed, plus speed, gets into third base. First hit of the game. Alex Jackson then can't move him over, can't make contact. Strikes out on a sweeper. And leave it to Greg Allen, the NPC that's brought into play center field and outfield this whole series on a major league contract. An 0-for-4 day for Allen. Starts what was a well-called play. Squeeze play is fine. If you don't have any faith in your bottom of the order to get a hit, squeeze is fine. But at least make it a safety squeeze. Because, again, this bunt was not located well. Jackson is hung out to dry. He is tagged out by McIver with no problem. There was a bit by Jim Palmer about the catcher's face mask being in the baseline, or at least being there right in front of the plate. Non-issue. But it was just a poorly placed bunt. Timing was not right, and the O's let an opportunity squander. We mentioned Jordan Westburg getting the O's out to a lead. Left-hander Ben Bowden on the mound, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. 2 outs. Now, Jordan Westburg with a hanging slider, he charges it to left field. Now tied for the active club lead this year in home runs. 14 long balls for Westburg. He's money against left-handers. We've seen that. And in the bottom of the 7th, 1-1 game. O's are gifted a base runner here. Alex Jackson, first pitch pop-up. Nick Kurtz running down the right field line. A little bit of a drop step issue there, but that ball is clearly fair. Bangs off his glove. He can't catch the ball. And Jackson, who is, to his credit, hustling, gets into second base in what is ruled a double. I had my diatribe last night about the scorers being very generous to infielders. This is clearly a missed catch, but it goes down for an extra base hit for Alex Jackson, who is now in ungodly territory. 10 for 40 with the Orioles. All 10 hits for extra bases. Modern record. So Greg Allen tries to bunt him over, can't, strikes out. So perhaps another opportunity squandered. Kobe Mayo pinch hitting for Jordan Adams. A passed ball moves over Jackson to third base. And then the next pitch, a cutter over the plate. Kobe Mayo hits a frozen rope to the left center field gap. Jackson scores easily, the 8th double of the season for Mayo, makes it a 2-1 ball game. And he would have been the hero. Unfortunately, this season has descended into just that. The O's carry on. We're off tomorrow, at least in terms of postcast, and then they are back in action Tuesday, welcoming in the Seattle Mariners for a 3-game set. You'll recall back in June, the O's swept Seattle in Seattle. Right-hander Dean Kramer was not a part of that series. However, he's 8-8 with a 4.35 ERA, looking to get a team-tying 9th win. His counterpart is right-hander George Kirby. Kirby did pitch in that series, his 3rd start coming off of the injured list, and the O's put him to work. 95 pitches over 5 innings and 2 earned runs for the O's in that game on June 3rd. The O's will trot out Kramer, left-hander Trevor Rogers, and right-hander Tomoyuki Sagano in an attempt to get some wins back in that win column. And that'll do it here for us on the Orioles postcast. The final score tonight, the Athletics 3 and the Orioles 2. Good night, stay safe, and I will see you right back here on Tuesday night.